Reminder as we go into the clean and jerk of the current state of play. You can see an awful lot of red on that scoreboard. That is a bit of a disappointment, I have to say, and there are lifters there who will be kicking themselves from the first part. Two at the bottom there, Misaki Oshiro and Ana Segura from Japan and Colombia. Sadly, no good attempts in the first half, but they do have a chance to go for clean and jerk corners, or realistically clean and jerk personal bests in the second part of the competition. This is the young woman who leads the National Games champion, Tan Yang. And you can see the coaches there really looking after her, Michaela. This is quite something to come out of your country on your first international trip, to come to a big stage, a world championship with a reputation.
Yeah, very daunting, and you know, any Chinese lifter that represents their country at a World Championships is almost expected to take away a medal, if not gold. So she comes here with massive expectations, having never left her home country before. To come into an environment like this for the first time of asking, she's done well to compose herself, but managed to get one lift there.
So there's the backstage technical controller's desk, where each of the coaches puts in their requested lifts and makes their changes.
Yeah, on those pieces of paper, the lifters have two opportunities to change their weights. There can be a bit of cat and mouse going on. You see what your competitors are taking, you can up the weight, you can change the weight, but you only have 2 goes at doing that. From that table that we see at the back, they then phone the message through to the front desk, which is where the weights are changed, and that's when we see it.
So it's going to be Galina Momotova of Kazakhstan to come onto the stage. Kazakhstan, whose world champion and Olympic aces are not here. This is really very much the development opportunity for the second tier.
Yes, well, Momotova really did have to pull it out of the bag on the snatch. Missed her first 2, was carrying a shoulder injury. Well, she's going to be lucky to get that, David. The rules are that the bar must go to arm's length in one continuous movement, no flexion at the elbows, and I saw flexion there, and it's been failed. So, disappointing snatch, having missed her first 2. She's now facing a first failure on the clean and jerk.
Yeah, not the auspicious start, and that will set her back. She only made 1 out of 3 in the first half of the competition, so the stats are very much against her.
Let's remember that these girls are also only weighing 48 kilos or less, so these weights are some serious weights. 88 kilos is in excess of 1.5 times body weight. Just there, doesn't really split wide enough, doesn't get her body low enough to catch the bar at arm's length, just tries to force it in the end, and that results in the elbow flexion. Good to see that the referees are consistent. I've seen it in the past where referees have given those kind of lifts. She's now under pressure again, as she was in the snatch. I think this competition for her is a means of survival. The clock is coming up to 1 minute.
This is how we want it.
Last few words of wisdom from the coach.
No, this is the rule. I don't have to ask Attila, but if you want total first.
He doesn't seem to be complaining with that shoulder like she was in the snatch, but coming out now, Momotova from Kazakhstan for her second attempt, 88 kilos.
Now, really needs this now. I wanted to have a third attempt.
Just work hard on that clean, just rounds her back, bar pulls her forwards. It's better. I still saw some movement in her right arm. On the left as we look at it, let's see if the referees will give her that. And they do.
Of course, the jury consists of 5 venerable weightlifting characters from the recent past and back a bit further, and they do have the responsibility of examining those referee decisions and deciding whether they think it was just...
Yeah, if the jury disagree with the decision that's been given by the 3 referees, they have the power to overturn it. All 5 on the jury must agree. I think that lift that we've just seen was a soft elbow. I certainly wouldn't be in a position, if I were on the jury, to overrule that.
So, Anne Michel representing France sitting in 9th place at the halfway stage. Very personable young lady. When not on the lifting stage, works for a club in marketing. That's a real interest. That's how she earns her daily corn.
Well, this is 1 kilo heavier than she originally posted, 89 kilos. Big drive to arm's length, but it was slightly in front. She's not going to be pleased with that. It's disappointing as well when you waste so much energy on the clean. That really does take it out of you. She's going to have a couple of minutes now to recover. Sorry, she'll have, yeah, probably 2 minutes. We've got Diachenko coming out next.
And of course, this is where your energy, you have to take into account that if you start, when you come into the warm-up room for the first time, for the snatch phase, you're starting with a full tank of petrol. But then those warm-up lifts, 9 or 10, they take energy out of you. Then your 3 competitive snatch lifts, then your warm-up for the clean and jerk, and then the clean and jerk. So all the time, your energy is evaporating.
Very, very tall lifter, Diachenko. Legs effectively to drive that bar to arm's length. Great first attempt, she'll be in the competition.
Yeah, it looks so much more happy with the clean and jerk compared to the snatch phase earlier on. Diachenko only 6 at the halfway stage at the moment, so currently in 2nd place. The leader, if you are just joining us now, just to remind you, Hanami Mizuoshi from Japan, who lifted 77 kilos in the B group earlier today in the snatch phase, and then added 92 kilos to give herself a total of 169. So she is actually the current leader, and Diachenko, with that success, 166 in 2nd place. This is Anne, quickly out again.
No.
You just saw there, she lost it, the hips were behind.
That's it, and you know, I say this all the time when I'm coaching people, is there's a very fine line between that bar being overhead, through, you know, arms through the ears, bar directly overhead, so the weight comes down through the body, compared to that bar being slightly in front, hips behind the bar. Here, the clean was good. Let's just watch where that bar is overhead. Hips were behind, bar in front. Can't stabilise yourself from that position.
And now she has a big decision to make, because she would have been looking to progress through this scale, and she hasn't got a total, so she's under real pressure. One, she wants to get a total, but one, she wants to get a total that was as close as possible to her target. Now, she actually entered a total of 171, and she's only got 73 kilos towards that.
So it's a very difficult position for any lifter to be in, having missed her first. Well, instead of having 2 minutes to follow herself, there was one lifter before she was on, so it actually meant that she got less than 2 minutes. You can see how heavily she's breathing, how out of breath she is. It really does take a lot out of you when you're trying to nail these top weights. The clock is down to 1 minute. If I were coaching her now, I'd hold her back probably for another 20 seconds, give her optimal chance of recovery.
Just the other point about the entry total that you put in the case of the women who are using a 15 kilo bar, but you must finish within 15 kilos of your entered total for it to be a valid competition.
Each clean is getting harder. Can she commit? Bar needs to be driven through the ears, overhead, hips under. Look at that, so much better.
Yeah, she really punched that.
She got to stand still.
Well, I thought she was still long, you know, earlier before.
She was, but then she staggered just as the referees were about to give her the down signal. The rules are your feet must be in line and you must be under control.
So Anne Michel putting that all together, 162 kilos, goes into 3rd place, but obviously he's not going to hold on to that. Where she'll be really disappointed is she posted 171 and she's fallen short by 9 kilos. And, you know, 162. But let me put the other perspective on it quickly. 162, better than this year's Mediterranean Games, better than this year's European Championships. So Machado, 2 Colombians in the competition. This is the one who has the chance to get a total. 90 kilo opener.
Big movement of the hands there, that's completely allowed. The reason the lifters do that is so there's less distance for the bar to travel overhead. But unfortunately, this lifter still needs to drive. Again, we're in a similar position. Not long to recover now before her second attempt. See the replay. Hands are close there as she stands up. Watch the change in grip. Bar is sat on top of the shoulders, giving her a solid platform to drive off. She just doesn't drive.
Ana Segura, who sadly didn't make any of her 3 snatch attempts, so this is looking for a consolation prize, and if she's got any chance, she has to make this. Same movement, but much more comfortable with the clean and jerk.
Yeah, interesting. We get 2 lifters from the same country, both adopting the same style. I was watching both of these girls warming up, and I don't know how experienced they are, David, but the lady we see in picture there in the yellow t-shirt, I don't know whether she's coach or physio, she was working with the girls doing their warm-ups. See the adjustment of the hands again. Drives to arm's length. Very nice.
Battle of the Colombians now. Battle of the Colombians, and Catherine Machado on second attempt at 90 kilos. The medals in the Pan American Championships this year, but 90 kilos was where she was in terms of clean and jerk weight.
Well, David, I don't want to tempt fate here, but that did not look close. She really is struggling with her leg drive on the jerk. Works hard to stand up from the clean. Adjustment is fine, just doesn't look solid overhead.
2 out of 5 made with 1 attempt left.
That's right, 1 Colombian under pressure and bombed out on the snatch. We're risking the other Colombian now, doing the same in the clean and jerk. This is a serious pressure lift. 1.5 minutes left.
23 years of age. Colombians have come with a very decent contingent.
See there, just adjusting the knee supports, they often get taken off between lifts. That way, when you tighten them up before a lift, you feel the benefit. And in my view, they're wasting a bit of energy bouncing up the steps. She's still breathing heavily from the last lift. Doesn't need to waste that kind of energy. Just takes a minute to compose herself.
129 women from 38 countries in competition here. Now,
does she have the legs?
Big effort.
Come on, hold it. A small shrug of the shoulders there. Yeah. Why didn't I do that first time? Gutted, but at the same time elated that she's managed to nail a total 90 kilos on a 3rd and final attempt.
Well, it makes the plane journey home a little bit more comfortable when you've got a total, but a total, Machado there at 166, and that is a kilo more than she lifted in the Pan Ams, and actually as a total in terms of competition that's the best we've seen. So even though the statistics show only 50% of made lifts, somehow she's come out a kilo better in terms of overall personal best. Now Momotova, 3rd attempt for a Kazakh who also has only made 2 out of 5 lifts so far. This is for 91 kilos.
Remember, her first attempt was a press out and failed. Second attempt was soft, but she was given it.
No, surely
There's
not.
movement again in that right elbow. I would fail
Surely
that.
not. Well, 2-1. Not quite sure what the central referee didn't see, because he's the only one who's given a white light.
The rules are the rules. The bar must travel to arm's length in one continuous movement. No flexion or bending at the elbow. You see on the replay here, that's how they show it. We're looking at her right arm. That's our left.
Well, Mr. Paznak Alaverdanyan of Armenia thought this was a good lift.
There's the movement in the elbow. Goodness me.
And he is not more than 5 meters from her. Yana Dyachenko from the Ukraine, 92 kilos on the bar.
No.
And again, a first attempt lost, as it was in the snatch phase.
That's it. When you get to these kind of weights, David, you do need to split wider. You do need to drop your body weight lower to get underneath the bar. She's trying to catch that in such a high position. With such long levers, that's a big disadvantage for her.
Yeah, I should make a correction, of course. That was her second attempt. She has got a total of 166, but now only has one more attempt to come.
Feet hardly move forwards and back. She'd have moved another 2 or 3 inches with both feet, dropped her body weight lower. She'd have nailed that for sure.
It's really interesting because the post-Olympic year, you can never quite tell what's going to happen and who's going to turn up. There are those lifters who've retired after the last Olympic Games. There are other lifters who are taking an easy season because it's very hard the older you get to stay so intensively involved.
Absolutely, it's important to give the body a chance to recover. So for those more experienced lifters, the post-Olympic year is probably the time that they would take any downtime. But this is great to see so many new lifters, so many youngsters coming through and being given an opportunity.
I think some lifters, even yourself, Michaela, would say that your body never recovered.
All right, now. It's enough of that cheek.
So, Yana Dyachenko, 92 kilos. This for 168. She's currently in 3rd place. It would only put her up to 2nd place. Brings that left foot forward, feet still and in line. And the Ukrainian fans impressed with her guts, at least, to make sure that she gets that.
Had to work hard there. I'm not overly impressed with technique on that jerk. Just being so tall, she really does need to split wider, drop lower. It'll make it so much easier.
I think the other thing that a lot of people don't realise is how much courage it takes to actually put your head and body under the bar.
Absolutely, it does take an awful amount of commitment and courage. You know, sometimes these weights so heavy. I mean, the number of times I go into the gym and the weight just feels so heavy. But you've got to fully commit and fully believe in your ability.
Yeah, when you think about this is only, 3 kilos off double body weight. Anna Segura, first attempt was good. 3 kilo increase.
Much better than her snatching 2 out of 2.
And that second attempt, which was successful, better than the first attempt. So a little bit of confidence growing now. She's more happy with herself.
Yeah, you can see it in her body language, the way she's coming off stage there. She's in control. Can she stay focused now for her 3rd and final attempt?
3 kilos up on her previous personal best, and that looked reasonably comfortable. Now she's going to be pushed again into much more difficult territory.
Jest minut to change. I 96, proszę jednak, koledzy. Also Karolina Valenciana.
So taking everything in her stride now, as the bar goes to 96 kilos for the first clean and jerk attempt of Do Thi Tun of Vietnam. Ended the first half with only 1 out of 3, but on 78 kilos, her first lift, failed twice at 80, and she will have been one of the people, Michaela, who will have, at the halfway stage, seen Tan of China limited to 84 and be kicking herself, but she didn't get one of those 280 attempts.
It's all very well in hindsight looking back, seeing what's happened and be kicking yourself, but it's very important for these lifters to put the past behind them. The snatch is over, they've now got to come out focused. She's still in with a chance of a medal, but she has got to be more consistent than she was on the snatch.
Yeah, Marzena Kapinska has posted 97 for her opener, but that obviously is in there. By the way, Doti Toon, she actually had originally posted 98, so she's come down a couple of kilos from what she... Oh no, I beg your pardon, it is 98, yep. 90. Well no, she's on 90...
I think there's been some confusion here. Yeah. She was on 96, she was called on 96,
yes.
And then the coaches put her up to 98, so that's either a sign that the warm-up's been going well, or that she's under pressure and trying very hard now to stay with the medals.
But the bar is going to 97 kilos for Marzena Kapinska. Really frustrated. Opened up 78, looked good, took a bit of confidence, but then technically found out on her 2 attempts at 81. And you've got to say, having been off a big international competition stage for 18 months, in boxing parlance, that would possibly find her out in terms of a bit of ring rustiness, so to speak.
Yeah, she was impressive on her first attempt, but yeah, just couldn't execute on the next 2. That said, she is experienced. Can she use this to her advantage now and catapult herself back into contention? She's got a couple of kilos to make up. Very good leg drive on the clean. Generated upward movement on that bar. Solid overhead. Well, how much further can she go? Let's see, time will tell.
But she's got to get more than 100 kilos here. She really needs to be, if possible, into the 102s.
I think if I were coaching her now, I'd probably sit back and wait and watch what the Mexican girl from Vietnam does, just to see where she needs to be. She's got 2 attempts, and these 2 attempts are going to be so important that the right weights are called to give her a chance.
175, she's in the overall lead. Obviously she's in the lead of the clean and jerk rankings as well, but Ana Segura now this is a 4 kilo increase, so she's asked herself, and her coaches have asked her, for a big challenge here.
I'm guessing the relevance of this weight is probably a new personal best. Obviously a lot more than she's done in competition, and unfortunately not to be today.
No, 93 was a personal best anyway. This was to take it further. Maybe they were a bit over ambitious going for 4 kilos. But maybe they wanted to put her up there and ask her the big question and see how she did it. A bit ungainly coming off the stage.
Yeah, I think she's carrying a bit of a knee niggle there. Probably looking to try and salvage something big out of this competition, having bombed out in the snatch.
But we're talking about here very much a group of young women. I mean, the vast majority 22, the oldest, the Kazakh lifter at 28, but all the rest are 25 or less.
It's a young person's game, David, and that's one of the reasons I've stepped out.
Carolina Valencia in bronze medal position at the halfway stage, brings forward 78 kilos. This is 98. Good clean. And that looked pretty good to me.
Very solid, not very far to move the bar. You can see how compact she is. Getting great levers for a weightlifter. The less distance you have to move the bar, the better. Tremendous leg power there.
Takes the lead from Marzena Kapinska by a kilo.
Carolina Valencia Hernandez, please prepare to 99.
The weightlifting belt, Michaela. Some do, some don't. How does it help you if you choose to go for the belt?
When I was younger, I used to use it really as a support in the latter parts of my career when I got more technically efficient and better body awareness. I used it more as a reminder to engage the key muscles. It does give a bit of protection, particularly on the clean and jerk. When the bar is overhead, if you have a bit of a wobble, it can save you.
98 kilos, first attempt. Oh, that bar was way out front and her hips were way behind, and there was never a prayer of that.
No, I think that, you know, those kind of errors are created on the dip, slightly out of position on the dip, and that's going to have a knock-on effect. It's easy often to identify what the problem is, but having a coach that can give you the reasons why that happened is important. Just watch here. Standing with quite a big arch in the lower back at the start, that's going to send their hips. As soon as she dips, the hips go backwards.
And one or two movements in the chest game back room from the coaches. Marzena Kapinska, 103, which is a 6 kilo increase.
That's a massive increase, David, particularly at 48 kilo body weight. 6 kilos, she is going for it, all guns blazing.
Well, home stage, you can understand it in a way. Liang Chung-hua, the silver medalist from the first half of the competition, the Olympic bronze medalist, 105 for an opening weight. Tan Yayun, who gave her supporters a scare in the first 110, and Carolina Valencia from 98 to 102 she's proposed, and that will be a 4 kilo increase. Again, that's a decent increase when you consider that she's never lifted 100 kilos or more on a competition stage. But this is the Vietnamese contender, posted a total of 181, and clearly that's a real struggle, having had those 2 failures in the first half of the competition.
Yeah, Duty 2 here has come out under serious pressure now. She was in contention. She absolutely has to succeed with this to have any chance going forwards. Slow, clean. Can she keep her hips under the bar this time? Better, but having to stagger forwards. Again, the bar slightly in front. I said on the last one there she had a big arch in her lower back. She's holding her lower back now, well, you wonder why. Again, technical issues here, lacking body awareness. It's going to cause injuries. It's so important to get the positions right to protect your back, protect yourself.
And takes second place behind Caroline Valencia, because she's a little heavier on body weight. So just at this moment, it's the Mexican Carolina Valencia Hernandez who's in the lead. 2 attempts to come for her. She's ahead of Doti 2, who is in second place, and then Marzena Kapinska in third spot at the moment. But still to start, the People's Republic of Korea's representative Liang Chung-hua, and also Tan Yayun of China.
You know, if I was in Doti 2's position now, I'd probably actually go for just the 1 kilo increase at 99. I know she's opted for 100 here, but she's not going to go any more than that. You can see the kind of shape she's in. If she'd have just gone 99 kilos and the other lifters in a minute missed them, she would have put herself in with a medal contention. She's gone for 100. That extra kilo doesn't make any difference whatsoever. She would be relying on other lifters to make a mistake, but this is now to put her in contention and in control, and the pressure back on the other girls. Kapinska's gone 6 kilo increase. That's going to be a big ask.
See, the interesting thing is about Doti 2, I mean, she's got a total of 176. Now, compare that with what she's done so far in the Asian Championships this year, bronze medalist at 174. So she's got a personal best in the total. 96 kilos was her personal best in the clean and jerk in those championships. So,
well, I would have called 99 or 100, doesn't matter. This is going to put her right up there in contention, and the pressure back on everybody else.
So just the 2 kilos. It sounds easy, but it isn't. This is for a 178 total to take the overall lead. Once again, the bar going forward, the hips the back. She finishes on the 176. I'm not sure whether 1 kilo would have made any difference.
No, I think you know, she's suffering there with the back, but It's a shame because it's the same error that's cost her each of those failures.
But good and interesting to see a Vietnamese squad in the women's division coming through at World Championship level.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great to see so many countries now represented at such a high level as well. It really is great to see.
And of course it's in Asia where women's weightlifting is all happening.
It certainly is. I think Europe are, I wouldn't say getting left behind, but the standard is improving and is continuing to improve, and I think women's weightlifting is seriously competitive now.
Kapinska, bar on 103, clock at 42 seconds.
This is Carolina Valencia has increased her next attempt as well.
Yeah, she's gone to 103, but okay, well this is the moment, 6 kilos.
We've got two lifters here, David, fighting for a bronze medal, Kapinska and Valencia. Poland versus Mexico.
This is Kapinska's second attempt. Valencia has 2 as well.
On her toes.
You could say advantage Mexico, but you have to realise that both these women are really going into unknown territory. I've seen clean and jerk 102, that was a year ago in the Europeans.
And again, you know, the question is, have these lifters, have the coaches been drawn into a battle that they didn't need to create here? At the moment, Kapinska is a kilo and body weight behind after the snatch, so she only needs 2 kilos more than Mexico to take the lead, so really maybe 100 kilos would have been a more sensible option.
Which is what she lifted in Katowice last weekend.
It may have been a more realistic second attempt.
Now, definitely wants this. This would be a big step forward for the Mexican. Chucks that bar overhead, gets the feet still. That's a good lift.
That's a bronze medal, David. It's got to be.
Because she's got one more attempt to come as well.
Absolutely. Kapinska now needs 2 kilos in excess of that, so she needs 105 kilos. I don't think she's going to stand with 103, let alone 105.
She's got a... I remember a few days ago, Szymon Kolecki, who's the relatively new president, and he looked at the entry totals and his face was all about the fact that Kapinska was in that battle for third or fourth.
Okay, so she's gone to 104. This isn't to take... They're calling her off the platform. Maybe they haven't loaded the bar yet. They've called 104. This won't take the bronze medal overall, but it will put her in the lead on the clean and jerk. This is a consolation medal attempt.
But it is 7 kilos up from what she did lift. It would actually, yeah, a 7. Yeah, she lifted. She had a 97.
Sorry, it will put her in the lead.
Oh yes, it will. Yeah. It'll take it to 182.
This will be the kilo that she needs to make up the body weight on the snatch. She's not getting up with that.
No. It's what you call high-stakes poker, but really, to be absolutely honest, they haven't, the coaches, I think, achieved the sort of sequence that would have benefited her. You know, when she failed in the first part, 78 to 81, 78 to 80.
It's all hindsight, David. I mean, the first attempt on 78 was comfortable. You would have put money on her getting the 81. It's what happens on the day, you know. It's such a fine line between it being a good lift and a failure. So she's going to be disappointed, but she gave it her best on the day.
But this is one of these competitions on a day where there's more red than blue or white about the board, and the fact is that we've got a higher percentage of failure than we have of success. So he pays your money and takes your chance, but one or two lifts, slightly more conservative in weight, would have actually played to her favour, perhaps.
Yes, they would. We've got Carolina Valencia of Mexico has now, I think by the looks of it, just put us a third and final attempt up to 106.
And she's in first place. There are only two lifters out there who haven't started. She's guaranteed the bronze medal. She can wait because, in fact, onto the stage comes the Olympic bronze medalist. And this is Liang Chunhua. Now, 105, as she proposed. Tan Yayun, China, still in the wings, yet to appear at what we think will be 110.
Really had to work hard on the clean. Same kind of problem on the jerk, hips behind the bar. You can see her limping off, David. That's worrying. Right knee is giving us some trouble there. Really need the knees to be pain-free, particularly trying to drive out of these cleans.
Now she's surely going to follow herself because Hernandez of Mexico has gone to 106. Tan has decided that it's not yet her time to come in. 1 minute 51 seconds in which to recover and to put things right in her mind.
Yeah, you can see she's suffering there.
Did 110 in the Asian Championships, did 112 in London.
It's a weight she should be comfortable with. You never know though, after an Olympic Games it's quite hard. Most athletes will tend to have a bit of a downtime after an Olympic Games when so much focus has gone into it. She's really suffering here. The clock is on just over 1 minute. The coach is putting something on there, I'm not sure what that is. Some freeze gel or something.
Now she's got plenty of time because they don't want to rush her on the stage.
45 seconds, loads of time to get chalked up and ready. But I think it would be safe to say if she's going to stay in the competition, this needs to be the lift that she succeeds with, or she's going to be under serious pressure.
Kopinska is still third.
Should be watching this eagerly from the warm-up room. Again, lands very, very deep in that squat position. Needs to hips under. No way.
No way, and that's the pressure that you were alluding to just a moment ago.
Well, are they going to show Kopinska's reaction in the warm-up room here? Should be glued to that TV, watching eagerly what's going on.
This is not what I expected.
No.
In fact, quite a lot of today's competition is what I didn't expect.
See there, that bar just slightly in front. Literally an inch with that bar being in front, nothing underneath it to stabilise it makes such a difference.
But again, you can apply the phrase, this is the moment when champions have to stand up and be counted. She is the Asian champion of the season. 80, 110 for a 190 total. She won that in Astana in Kazakhstan. So this is the moment.
From a technical point of view, David, as well, if you watch her next attempt, you see how hard she hits the bottom position, the deep receiving position. That bar really does hit her, and it's almost like she sits there and waits to catch it before she tries driving out. By doing that, she loses all the momentum on the bar, and that standing up from that clean position is then so much harder. So if I was giving advice to a lifter like this, or any of my lifters, is when they receive the bar in the bottom position, drive out aggressively straight away and use the momentum that you've generated. So, bronze medal, or game over. All or nothing on this one lift. Kopinska, who's in 4th place, was looking like a 4th place finish, will move up into a bronze medal position if she misses this.
Nice.
5 seconds. 2. That's a better clean. Timing was a lot better. Much more fight in that jerk. Really wanted that. Really needed that. That's going to put her into medal contention now. She can't lose a medal. She's guaranteed at least the bronze.
So the 105 kilos finally made. That adds to the 81 that she got. She takes the lead in the clean and jerk, and obviously overall in the total at the moment is 186.
See there, she really did bounce out, as I was talking about previously. Corrected the clean. Look at that bar, overhead. Body was underneath. Much better.
Interesting though that she posted an entry total of 188, so she wasn't suggesting she was going to do the 190s, but now that she did in London in the Asian Championships. But now Tan, this is interesting, Tan dropped 4 kilos, coming in at 106.
This is going to be for the gold medal overall. No chance of anyone catching her if she succeeds with this. Look how easy that clean was. Oh, to have leg strength like that. Superb, well in excess now of double body weight, David.
And you could just see how much more comfortable she was with this exercise, this examination. This is her forte at the moment. Work to do on the snatch lift, but here, much more comfortable.
That was a safe card. That was a very safe card the Chinese played, but more importantly, it was a very sensible card. She's guaranteed the gold medal overall. The only thing that can be taken away from her right now is the gold in the clean and jerk, but she still has 2 attempts.
And China, who have won 8 of the last 11 World Championship editions, make that 9 out of 12. So the Mexican, who's actually done much better in the clean and jerk, she got 2 out of 3 in the snatch phase, so this is for 5 out of 6, and this is where stats really count. Now this is a 3 kilo increase, and it is absolutely new territory for her, but
this will improve her medal on the clean and jerk if successful.
She's a lifter who's really shown enjoyment as well as ability. Good clean. Last attempt. Oh. She knows she's got a medal, but slightly frustrated that she didn't get that. But very good when you think about Mexican women's weightlifting, first category of the World Championships, and their first representative has got a medal.
That's great, that really is. Big progression for the Mexicans.
.181, 3rd place. Tan now on, this is her stage now completely now. The bar to 110, which is where she proposed to come in, but the Chinese have done exactly the right thing with her. They first concentrate on winning the title, and then we'll have a little think about where we're going to go. So 4 kilos up. This is for 194. And that is actually, what is that, 10 kilos less than her winning total in the national games.
There's no pressure on her, David. She's guaranteed all gold medals across the board. This is now for experience.
Also interesting to note, see a change of weightlifting suit as well.
Something she's more comfortable in, but I think those people watching back home now, just to put this in perspective, that was 110 kilos at a body weight of sub 48. So if you want to get an idea of what that is like in relation to body weight, go and put double body weight on a weightlifting bar and see if you can shift it, let alone take it overhead.
So one attempt, and I think they'll want her to take you, because I think you were absolutely right, Michaela. Being her first international competition, they'll want her to have the experience here of completing the sequence, and this is educational.
Absolutely, you know, coming out to compete internationally for the first time, I'm sure we're going to see her again. I'm sure this is going to be the first of many competitions. She's young, very talented, and I think she's going to draw on this experience in future events. She's saying the cup of tea's a bit too hot, thanks.
1 minute and 40 seconds, so there's no hurry. She can take her time. So we know that Rang Chung-hwa of People's Republic of Korea has taken the overall silver. She's currently in silver medal also in the clean and jerk. We know that Carolina Valencia Hernandez of Mexico has taken the overall bronze and also finishes third in the clean and jerk rankings. And we know that Marjana Kapinska, I'm afraid, 4 failures, 2 out of 6. Statistically, that tells its own story, and that's why she has ended up in 5th place.
Yeah, she's going to be disappointed with that. On reflection, I think 2 out of 6 is far from good enough at a World Championships.
So 199. The world record, just to put this in perspective, is 217 kilos for the total, set by Yang Liang in Santo Domingo in the World Championships of 2006. That's a long time ago.
She's still 6 kilos down on what she did at the Chinese Games. And a comfortable third and final attempt. There's your world champion. First world champion of 2013.
And very interesting to see how she progresses over the next couple of years into the Rio Olympics, because actually what you have to say is there's such talent at this particular weight class in China. There is absolutely no guarantee that this young woman, world champion today, will actually be their selection for Rio 2016.
So she's got a lot of work to do. She's put herself in a great position.
So she's taken all the gold medals, as you said, Michaela, for the snatch, for the clean and jerk. The snatch phase didn't go to plan, we have to say that, but at the end of the day, vastly superior in the second discipline.
Absolutely.
And there are the clean and jerk results there. You can see 3 out of 3, much more comfortable there, and 10 kilos better than the representative from the People's Republic of Korea. But a really pretty good day, I have to say, for Carolina Valencia Hernandez, because when you look at that, that's 4 out of 6. It's not bad lifting, and Mexico getting the bronze. And Doti too, well, a little rough around the edges, shall we say, but interesting that Vietnam now getting involved in women's weightlifting at this level. The other lifters that are worth a mention here, I think Honami Mizuoshi of Japan, who won the B group earlier on, actually finishes up in 7th place overall with 169. And as you can see there, everybody in the A final actually got a score on the board in the clean and jerk. So the totals: Tanya Yun 199, second place, there you have it there, Liang Chun-hwa 186, and Carolina Valencia 181. So you can see some big gaps actually amongst that, and it tells you that actually there are an awful lot of athletes who will look back at the video of their respective lifts and going to say, if only, what on earth was I doing?
I think so, David. I think some of these are going to reflect on this competition and want to put it behind them, but at the same time it's really shown who the true champions are, those that can pull it out when it matters under pressure.
Just reflecting on the Japanese lifter Hanami Mitsuoshi finishing in 7th place. No, it's not the medals, but what it does mean is that actually her appreciation by her National Weightlifting Federation will give her more support.